You don't have any idea about what you're talking about, and your confidence far exceeds your competence.
I'm friends with many transgender individuals.
I also don't know who educated you at this fine university, but they're doing a damn dismal job. You really are something.
Thank you.
So another brainwashed leftist trying to debate Jordan Peterson on transgenderism, not with substance, but false accusations. There's something special about liberal women making false accusations. It's very common. They can get away with it, but not against a person like Jordan Peterson. He's gonna call you out, expose your falsehoods.
My question is in regards to a comment you made on Joe Rogan's podcast a couple years prior, where you called being transgender a sociological contagion.
Well, it's definitely true that it's a sociological contagion.
And compared trans people to Satanists.
To
Satanists.
No, I don't think so.
You called being transgender equivalent to participating in satanic rituals in the 1980s. This is a quote.
I don't think he said that. This sounds like a misrepresentation.
I didn't catch that last part.
You called being transgender and you compared that to satanic rituals that occurred in daycares in the 1980s.
I see. So
yes.
That's very different than the proposition that you laid before me.
Right. You do have a history of intense anti-trans comments, so I wanted to question you on that. In the United States, trans youth have the highest rates of suicide among any demographic.
If that's the case, then we shouldn't be making kids trans.
How do you respond to those who believe your comments have cultivated a climate of hostility against trans people and contributed to this alarming rise in suicide rates?
So you are contributing to a rhetoric that is in contention with transgender ideology, and that somehow make transgender people to kill themselves, and therefore you are a bad person. If that's your argument, then it's very weak.
Okay, so first of all, I respond to them like I responded to you by pointing out the falsehood of their question. The question you asked me had absolutely nothing to do with what I said, as you well knew. And the moralizing And the moralizing element of your accusation that constituted the last half of your question is also equally ill formulated. You have no idea what you're talking about. The idea that my comments had anything to do with the hypothetical rise in suicide rates among transgender people is preposterous. And there's also no evidence whatsoever that those suicide rates that you're describing are a consequence of any attitude whatsoever towards their hypothetically transgender status.
Lack of social acceptance, which is definitely cultivated by comments like yours that deny the existence of trans people.
What makes you think you know what you're talking about?
So you're gonna hold us emotionally hostage in order to affirm their delusion.
I cannot understand for a moment.
Lack of social acceptance is a driving force behind trans youth committing suicide. And I'm asking you to explain why you feel it's appropriate to deny the existence of transgender people.
So she lied again. I don't think he ever denied the existence of transgender people. We disagree on your self-made gender identity being legit. That doesn't mean we don't think you exist.
I can't possibly imagine anybody sequencing a collection of questions more cliched, formulaic, and accusatory than the ones that you just managed. You don't have any idea about what you're talking about, and your confidence far exceeds your competence.
I'm friends with many transgender individuals.
Oh, so that makes sense why you're so much into equivocation, why you have so much ambiguous language.
I also don't know who educated you at this fine university, but they're doing a damn dismal job.
When someone like Jordan Peterson is personally attacking you, that means you're an idiot. You don't have an argument.
I would appreciate if the substance of what she's asking...
There was no substance. You can't answer the substance of a question when you're asked a question with no substance. So,
Denying the existence of an entire community and comparing transgender people to participating in a sociological contagion.
they are participating in a sociological contagion, obviously. Why in the world do you think there's been an explosion in prevalence with regards to transgender identification among juvenile women? Why do you think that? Do you know that that's the pattern of social contagions for the last 350 years? Do you know it's always juvenile women? It was eating disorders, it was cutting, it was the eating disorders were anorexia and bulimia. In Freud's time, it was hysteria.
So I take a lot of issue with you pretending to care about women as an avenue for perpetuating hate towards minority groups. You did this earlier in your conversation with the president, and you're doing it once more.
So there we go, another accusation. He pointed out the fact that it is social contagion, and you can't argue with that. Therefore, you try to accuse him with another lie that he hates minorities.
You really are something.
Okay.
Thank you.
So,
Yeah.
thank you, Arushi. We'll go to the next question. Anyone else?
Like an accusation of hate, particularly one that's formulated in that manner, that begins with the proposition that I was comparing transgender people to those who participated in satanic rituals, which is not at all what I said or meant on the Joe Rogan special, is not a question with substance.
How can he seriously argue with you if you have no substance, just have false accusations to slander his character?